Hi everyone, Kim from Yesterday's Tomorrows. I'm part of the Paint Couture creative team. Come and join me while I make this vintage inspired spring Easter egg. Now I just took a paper mache egg and I already put a coat of Italian ivory on it, and I just took a wooden dowel on the bottom of it. It's just easier to paint when you're holding the dowel. And then I'm now just taking a mold that I made. It's out of paper clay, and I'm just putting some glue on it, and we're going to glue it around the edges of the egg just to make it look more vintage inspired. All right, and then once I get the mold on, I'm going to now coat it with the second coat of Italian ivory and also paint the mold. Now you got to make sure that the mold is dry before you start painting it, so you do not ruin the casting that you did, because I'm using paper clay, and if you do not let it dry before you paint it, you can mush your mold. All right, so now this is your second coat of the Italian ivory by Paint Couture, and it is one of my favorite colors that they have amongst a few others that are my favorites. You can find my favorite on there under Paint Couture's Creative Team Bundle. Now this is Autumn Sage, and I am going to paint the mold with the Autumn Sage. Now I do it with a little teeny artist brush so I can get into all the nooks and crannies of that beautiful mold. And then once that is painted, we are going to be starting to add I've decided to put a transfer on there. And so we're going to put the transfer on once that is dry. There we go. Oh, it's all done. Doesn't it look cute? Just the way it is. Now look at that cute little bunny. So that's just a little transfer that I had in my stash, and we're going to apply it to the front of it. Now with your transfers, you just need to get your old transfer stick and give it a rub and rub it down onto your project. And 1, 2, 3, they stick very, very easily. Just make sure that you do not rip it off like a Band-Aid, just so make sure that you get it all down. Now sometimes the stick doesn't work. I just use my nails, and it's a lot easier for me to get it all down. There we go. So once it's down, you need to burnish it just so it stays on there. Now we're going to make it really vintage inspired by using the Crackle two-step system. Now make sure you have a clean brush, and now I am applying step 1, and you just apply it as if you're applying a coat of paint. The thicker that you do it, the bigger the cracks. The thinner that you apply it, the smaller of the cracks. Now I always say, Crackle is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So each time I do Crackle, it gives me, I never know what I'm going to get, but it's always beautiful. Now this is step 2. After step 1 is dry, you put step 2 on, just like the same way as you did step 1. And then you want to take your dryer and dry it, and that's when the magic starts to happen with the dryer. Now the dryer is going to start showing you some of the crackling that's going to be happening. Now, like I said, there's no two crackles are the same when I do a project. They all come out different, but they all come out absolutely beautiful. Now, I also will be doing the opposite side, but just for the demonstration of this video, I'm only doing one side. Now, what I'm doing also that gives it a really nice vintage effect, I'm using the color Vintage Lace over the green, and that really gives it another vintage look. Now I'm using the perfect pigments, and I'm choosing which color to choose. All right, so those are the golds. The one I'm choosing that I made my choice is the bronze. They're the perfect pigment mica powders, and that's what I like to use to fill in my cracks. Now you put it on, and then you want to rub it off. And I'm using it in a swirling motion so it gets down into all the nooks and crannies. And I'm even getting into the nooks and crannies of the mold that I put on there. All right, and then once it's all done, you want to you do not want to take a baby wipe. You just want to take a paper towel and you rub it off as much as you want, and you can leave as much as you want on. Now, on the bottom there, I'm just putting this cute little dangling thing that I found from Hobby Lobby. I don't know what you call it, but I think it just makes it a little bit more vintagey. And there it is. The bunny is all done. I think he's cute as heck. And you can use it for your spring decor. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today.